coming up next on BG24 News.
New requirements for prospective pilots and co-pilots might cause a problem for the aviation industry. We'll tell you why.
And police reports show that residents are getting stuck in elevators more often. Find out where elevators are breaking down.
Speaking of residence halls, it's been about 2 months since the announcement of gender-neutral housing. We'll tell you if prospective students are signing up.
Plus, a look at your Black Swamp weather forecast in BG24 Sports. Welcome to your Campus and Community Connection.
Live local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Hello everyone, I'm Gemma Schultz.
And I'm Madeline Fenning. Our top story tonight. Office of Residence Life tells BG24 News that 16 people have signed up for gender-neutral housing at BGSU. Gender-neutral housing will be available in Founders Hall this fall. The option gives residents the opportunity to live with individuals of the opposite sex. Residence Life says the decision will help support varying and diverse needs of on-campus residents. Resident Student Association voted 37-4 to approve gender-neutral housing.
Elevators might not be the best way to navigate BGSU residence halls. Last month, city firefighters responded to 4 stuck elevators with trapped students inside. Firefighters responded to calls at Harshman, Offenhauer, and McDonald recently. The calls aren't just from residence halls. Firefighters responded to a call at the Physical Science Building in January of this year. The university says cuts in state capital bills led to the postponement of many maintenance needs.
Though it might be scary to get stuck in an elevator, imagine getting stuck tens of thousands of feet above ground. Some future pilots at BGSU are studying to make sure that doesn't happen. Recently, the Federal Aviation Administration set new rules for airline pilots. Reporter Jacqueline Gideon tells us how this will affect the job search for BGSU aviation majors.
Airline pilots and co-pilots now need 1,500 hours of flight experience. There is no change for pilots, but an additional 1,200 hours for co-pilots. These rules and the large number of pilots reaching the mandatory age of 65 may create a pilot shortage.
I think that we will see that shortly affect smaller flight schools and places where they're not finding flight instructors. So those people are going to get into the system quicker.
To get into the system, Vanderlut says students should be willing to move.
Generally, students become flight instructors or go into the military after graduation.
Mike Miller is one of 20 students graduating. He will graduate with more than 200 flight hours. After that, Mike will need more than 1,000 hours to become an airline pilot. He's considering flying for the military, but is unsure of what he will do next.
I don't want to think about it. I'm scared to graduate. But Bang definitely helped me out to get my foot in the door somewhere.
Now it will be easier for him to start his career because other pilots are ending theirs.
Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Jacqueline Gideon.
It takes students more than 10 years to fly enough hours to become a major airline pilot.
What would you do if you encountered an active shooter? I spoke with Police Captain Michael Campbell, who hosted several ALICE training sessions yesterday. He said he wants to make sure students have an answer to that question.
Alert, lockdown, inform, counter, evacuate, otherwise known as ALICE. Students are gathering in the Bowen-Thompson Union Theater to learn strategies that could save lives. The BGSU police are providing these workshops in order to prepare students for campus intruders. Instructors talk about vital tools needed to survive. The workshop allowed for interactive learning opportunities for students, and the police say the program provides them with tactics and many options to protect themselves against intruders.
Throughout the whole program, we'll talk about different concepts, but by no means are they mandates. It's all about that individual who's in that situation, what information they have, and what's best at that point to increase their survivability if they're ever caught in that situation.
Students stress that workshops like these are imperative in giving them information to better prepare for crisis situations.
I think it's definitely important, even in an office building. It's definitely important to be trained on how best to react to situations like that, no matter what field you're in, even if you're in your own house, how to be able to respond to crisis or a gunman, any type of intruder.
Organizers set up 5 workshops to reach as many students and faculty as possible. This is the 3rd year police have done the ALICE program here at BGSU.
University police encouraged attendance by handing out free t-shirts to the first 100 students who attended the sessions.
University Activities Organization hosted Black History Month Trivia Night last night at the Student Union. We also want to see how much students know about Black history. In order to find out, we go to reporter Christina Hepner in the Student Union. Christina?
Thanks, Madeline. I'm here at the Bowen-Thompson Student Union conducting trivia questions in honor of Black History Month. And what civil rights group was founded in 1902?
The NAACP.
That's correct.
Nice.
And you win BG24 News lanyard.
Awesome. Is that it?
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
And what is the name of the secret escape system through which Harriet Tubman led slaves?
The Underground Railroad.
That's correct.
All right.
And you win a BG24 News lanyard.
Thank you.
What is the word for a person who worked to end slavery? You can just take a guess.
Independent?
It's actually an abolitionist.
Oh, that makes sense.
What is the name of the woman who helped over 300 escaped slaves flee to freedom in the North via the Underground Railroad?
Harriet Tubman.
That's correct. And you win a BB24 lanyard.
Thank you.
What was the first state to abolish slavery in 1777?
Virginia?
Vermont.
Vermont.
Actually. You were close.
Close. Start with V.
What is the name of the great civil rights leader who won the Nobel Peace Prize and was assassinated in 1968?
I'm hoping it's Martin Luther King.
That's correct.
Okay.
And for answering that question correctly, you get a lanyard.
Thanks.
And that's the Black History Month trivia. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Christina Hepner.
Thanks, Christina. The next Black History Month event is Saturday at Kobecker Hall. The American Spiritual Ensemble will perform songs that celebrate African American spirituals. We'll post a link to buy tickets on our Facebook page.
Speaking of the weekend, weathercaster Dale Summers joins me now with a look at our Black Swamp weather forecast. Dale?
Thank you, Gemma. It is currently in the mid-20 degrees outside. However, with cold winds coming in from the east at 10 miles per hour, temperatures feel like they're only 15 degrees. Stay tuned for more weather later.
Thanks, Dale. Coming up next.
A big addition is coming to the Wood County Hospital. We've got the details.
And a seemingly fun social network fad might be offensive to some. We'll tell you about a bit of controversy surrounding the Harlem Shake. Stay with us. In community news tonight, Bowling Green City Council has approved an addition to Wood County Hospital. The council gave a thumbs up to a 2,300 square foot radiology and oncology addition to Wood County Hospital. Radiology and oncology haven't been available at the hospital since the 1990s. Work on the project will start no later than April and should be completed by November.
For many, daffodils are a sign of spring. For the American Cancer Society, these flowers are a sign of hope. Reporter Megan Gallagher explains why these flowers are so important to one local organization.
Cancer affects every 1 in 3 women and every 1 in 2 men. However, the Wood County American Cancer Society is lightening the somber mood these numbers provide by delivering daffodils through the month of March through their program, Daffodil Days.
We've been doing it for over 40 years now nationally, so we're really excited about what the daffodil represents as the first flower of spring and a symbol of hope for cancer patients and their family as a fundraising opportunity for the American Cancer Society.
Not only are the flowers brightening the mood, but the Society is also selling vases and Boyd's bears as compliments to the flowers for the cause. This cause is occurring at the same time as a research project that the organization is very excited about.
So Cancer Study 3 is going to be the third longitudinal study, and everyone between, I think, the ages of 30 and 65 has a chance to participate, men and women. And if you agree to sign up, they will then track you for many years and look for all sorts of factors in your life, and then they look for trends and correlations, and then, look for possible links and causes of cancer.
The Wood County branch also says that Daffodil Days provides a way to look on the bright side of such a dark and terrible disease.
So it's something we're really happy to help promote, and something that it's a cheerful, happy way of promoting cancer research and support services, because when we get those bright yellow daffodils, it's a very positive way of dealing with it, I think.
And ultimately, as the American Cancer Society slogan says, they're working for a world with more birthdays and less cancer. Reporting for BG24 News, I'm Megan Gallagher.
If you'd like to purchase a gift from Daffodil Days, check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/BG24News.
A University of Toledo cross-country coach still denies allegations stemming from a national sports blog. Deadspin.com released a detailed report last week that said Kevin Hadsell had inappropriate relationships with student athletes. The 42-year-old resigned almost a month ago after saying he violated university policy. This raises questions as to how BGSU officials would handle a similar situation. A representative with the Department of Athletics says that BGSU has a strict policy that supervisors and faculty are not to have relationships with students.
Speaking of athletics, two of BGSU's most local supporters donated more than $500,000 to BGSU athletics last night. Lee and Marge Meserve also plan to endow a biological science professorship. The director of athletics says the couple's gift will impact generations of student athletes. The donation will help pay for additional scholarships, upkeep sports arenas, and more. Dr. Meserve is in his 16th year as the school's faculty athletics representative.
The BGSU Division of Student Affairs canceled plans yesterday to gather students to perform a popular dance. Student Affairs sent an email yesterday canceling the Harlem Shake event, which was scheduled for tomorrow in the Student Union. The Harlem Shake fad gained traction on YouTube this month as hundreds of YouTube user uploaders led their own versions of the dance. But the Director of Student Affairs says that many consider the Harlem Shake to be culturally insensitive and offensive. So we asked our Facebook fans if Student Affairs should have canceled the Harlem Shake event. 75% of users said no, while 25% of users said yes. What do you think? Tweet us your thoughts at twitter.com/BG24News.
High gas prices are common these days, but it's uncommon for them to be high during the winter months. CNN's Karen Kaffa explains why this winter is an exception.
AAA credits a perfect storm of factors that started with Superstorm Sandy and tightened supply.
We have about a quarter of the nation's refineries undergoing their annual maintenance right now, and you combine all of that with a lot of refineries doing their switch over to winter to summer blends.
Spikes in gas prices usually send consumers looking for alternatives like public transportation or carpools. But if less time behind the wheel isn't an option, try some basic gas-saving tips.
Driving smart. Make sure your tires are properly inflated. Make sure you drive the speed limit. Get rid of the junk in the trunk and avoid those jackrabbit starts and stops.
Also, put your smartphone to work to find the best gas prices. AAA has their own app. Gas Buddy is another. And if gas prices follow last year's pattern.
When you look back at 2012, as we approached April and May, the start of spring break driving and summer driving season, prices started to fall.
Relief could be on the way soon.
AAA says the national average is at $3.77 a gallon. That's 46 cents higher than it was last month.
Coming up next.
Chinese hackers deny claims that they hacked the United States government. We'll hear from more than CNN's reporter in Beijing.
And it's a little more than a week until university students enjoy spring break. Could it warm up in time? Dale's Black Swamp weather forecast is next.
Wood County's live local forecast with BG24 Black Swamp weather.
Good evening, Wood County. I am Dale Summers here with the Black Swamp weather forecast. Current temperatures are in the mid-20 degrees and there is a good amount of cloud coverage. However, with cold winds coming in at 10 miles per hour through the east-northeast, it feels closer to 15 degrees. Tonight, temperatures will be dropping to about 20 degrees and we will be experiencing snow showers in the late night. Winds will pick up speed coming in at 15 miles per hour through the east and humidity will be at a high 70%. Tomorrow, temperatures will be in the high 30s and all throughout the morning, we will be experiencing a mix of rain and snow. Winds will retain the same speed coming in at 15 miles per hour through the east-southeast. Tomorrow night, temperatures will drop down to the high 20s and we will see some partly cloud coverage. Winds will have dropped down a little bit, coming in at 11 miles per hour. Humidity will have jumped up to 83%. However, there's only a 20% chance of precipitation. The average high for February 21st is 37 degrees. That's a little bit warmer than what we're experiencing today, but throughout the next 5 days, temperatures will be warming up. so we'll be able to experience a little bit of warmer temperatures. Looking at the temperatures for the Toledo area, we can see that temperatures are relatively stable, remaining in the mid-20 degrees. However, if one heads up towards Isle St. George, temperatures are closer to the mid-teens. There is not a lot of snow over Toledo, just a little bit of area. However, you can see that most of the snow is over in Cleveland and the surrounding cities. They're experiencing most amount of snowfall with medium snowfall. However, that will be making its way around the Bowling Green area. We can see that most of the rain in the United States is down by Louisiana. They are experiencing some heavy rainfall throughout the next few days. A lot of the snow from the Cleveland area will make its way around Bowling Green and will head into Illinois and Nebraska and Kansas, giving them some medium snowfall. Temperatures throughout the next 5 days will be rising, with temperatures of the high 30s on Friday. They will be experiencing some rain and snow on Friday, and that trend will continue on Tuesday. However, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we will see some sun, as it will be covered up with clouds, though. The warmest temperatures for the next 5 days will be on Monday, when temperatures will be at 43 degrees.
Well, you know, no wonder people are doing the Harlem Shake all the time, because they need to do it to stay warm, it seems.
For sure.
If that's what we're resorting to now, then I'm just, you know, curious to see what the next dance, you know, fad's going to be if it doesn't warm up in time.
Cold temps for sure. In international news tonight, China's state-run news agency says the Chinese military denies the findings of a U.S. security company. The company claims China had orchestrated a long-running and widespread campaign of computer hacking. CNN's David McKenzie is in Shanghai and tells us why China denies these allegations.
Driving in the northern part of Shanghai, this is a hub of low-tech industry, but it's also allegedly a high-tech hub of corporate and potentially government espionage. The allegations come from a group called Mandiant from the US. They say that there are tens, if not hundreds, of Chinese hackers working in conjunction with the Chinese government to hack into mostly US companies and steal data and corporate secrets. Mandiant says after years of investigations, they pinpointed the hacking to this group of buildings. They said that the hackers would go in to an institution through backdoor means and spend potentially years there stealing secrets. Some of these industries were national security industries like aerospace, high tech, and IT. It's clear that this installation of buildings is closely watched by the People's Liberation Army, and the allegation is that they're working in conjunction with civilian hackers. And as we got closer to take a look, we got in trouble.
Keep driving. Drive away. Drive away. Drive away.
We've had to move out of sight of that facility. Now the question is, was that response because it's a military installation, or is there something more here? Is this a secret center of Chinese bloggers working for the Chinese government and attacking US institutions? That's certainly what Mandiant is saying, but the Chinese government says that's not the case. They say this is a baseless accusation and, quote, irresponsible. Chinese say that 14 million computers are hacked every year here in China, and they blame the US. The question is this just the next salvo in a cyber war? David McKenzie, CNN, Shanghai.
The Obama administration released a paper yesterday describing new plans to combat these attacks.
And now sportscaster Thomas James joins us for a look at BG24 Sports. Thomas?
Thanks, Madeline. Coming up next, we'll take a look at how our #2 Falcons took on #1 Akron in a crucial MAC contest last night. Also, a look ahead at what's coming up in this weekend's sports. All that and more coming up next on BG24 Sports.
It's un-Falcon believable coverage that you won't get anywhere else. This is BG24 Sports.
Welcome to BG24 Sports. I'm Thomas James. The women's basketball took on the Akron Zips last night. Akron was sitting at the #1 spot in the MAC before the matchup, as the Falcons were one win away from sharing the first place throne. The first points of the game came from Jillian Halfhill drives, who kicks it to Danielle, who shoots a 3. Later, Chrissy Steffen dishes it to Alex Rogers, who puts in for 2 buckets. Then Bailey Karen Duff comes up, she pulls for a 3, but she misses it. She follows her shot, and she makes it in. Then Chrissy Steffens takes it coast to coast for an easy layup. BG goes to win it, 74-61. The Falcons and the Zips are placed now for tied at the first place in the MAC East. With the win, BG is now 17-8 overall and 8-4 in conference play. Junior Alexis Rogers contributed immensely to the win with the double-double, registering 16 points and a game high of 12 rebounds. Senior Chrissy Steffen led the scoring with 17 points and just fell short of a double-double as she added 9 rebounds.
Working a lot on getting the ball into the post and working inside out. First half, I was finally getting to the wide open move and not finishing. I adjusted my mask a little bit, and eventually I still got those same moves in the second half, and they started falling for me.
The rest of the Rogers post-game interview, check out our YouTube page. Over to men's hoops. BG hosts New Orleans tonight at 7 p.m. The Falcons are 8-3 at the Stroh, while New Orleans is at 0-9 on the road. BG is currently sitting at number 4 in the MAC with the overall record of 10-15 and 5-7 in the MAC. Over to ice hockey. The Falcons play in their last home series of the 2012 and 13 season this weekend as they host Northern Michigan. BG is sitting at number 8 in the CCHA with a record of 9-12-3. And Northern Michigan is trailing the Falcons at number 9 with a record of 7-13-4. The puck drops at 7:05 both nights, and the unmasking is on this Saturday of the members of Siksik. Falcon baseball heads to Kentucky this weekend to take on Murray State for a 3-game series. BG hit an early spark for the season as they won their first series of the 2013 season against Western Kentucky. Also, Falcon softball travels to Georgia this weekend to take on Jacksonville State and Campbell University this Sunday. BG is off to a good start as they are 1-0 with their first win against George Washington University. That's all for BG24 Sports. I'm Thomas James. We'll be right back.
For Madeline Fenning, Dale Summers, and Thomas James, I'm Gemma Schultz. Thanks for watching.
If you have any comments or story ideas, check out our BG24 News website at bg24news.org.
We'll see you next week.
Have a safe weekend, everyone.